Welcome to the Discourse Analyzer AI Toolkit, where articles come alive. You're hearing the audio version of our article. For the full text and an interactive experience, check out the link in the description below. Interact with any section using our AI assistant to enhance your understanding. Let's explore.
Modern impact of structuralism on discourse analysis. Structuralism's enduring impact on the field of discourse analysis is evident in its sustained influence over contemporary methodologies and theoretical orientations. This framework, initially pivotal for its insights into the structured nature of language and culture, continues to shape scholarly approaches in analyzing textual and communicative practices. Although it has faced critiques and adaptations, the foundational concepts of structuralism, such as the emphasis on binary oppositions and underlying structures, remain integral in how current discourse analysis is conducted. Scholars today still leverage these concepts to dissect the complexities of meaning-making within various texts and societal interactions. Moreover, structuralism's methodological contributions persist in modern research, aiding in the identification of recurrent patterns and themes that reveal deeper cultural and social underpinnings. By foregrounding the relationship between language and power, structuralism has also prompted discourse analysts to explore more critically how language constructs and is constructed by social hierarchies and power dynamics. This introduction seeks to unpack how, despite its evolution and the emergence of new paradigms like post-structuralism and critical discourse analysis, structuralism's legacy continues to profoundly inform and enrich the discipline of discourse analysis. 1. Structuralism's enduring legacy. Structuralism's impact on the intellectual landscape extends far beyond its initial development and critique, maintaining a profound influence on contemporary discourse analysis practices. Despite the evolution of numerous theoretical frameworks that have critiqued, expanded, or moved beyond its foundational premises, the enduring legacy of structuralism is evident in the way current scholars approach the analysis of language, culture, and society. 1. Influence on current discourse analysis practices. Analytical frameworks. Structuralism introduced a rigorous analytical framework for understanding the relationships within language systems, emphasizing the roles of binary oppositions and underlying structures in the production of meaning. Contemporary discourse analysis often incorporates these structuralist insights to examine how meaning is constructed and negotiated within texts and talks, even as it integrates more nuanced understandings of power and context. Methodological contributions. The methodological tools developed under the structuralist tradition, such as the identification of recurrent patterns, themes, and motifs in texts, remain central to discourse analysis. These tools help researchers uncover the underlying structures that shape discourse, providing insights into how discourses function to convey meanings, construct identities, and negotiate social relations. Semiotic analysis. Structuralism's contribution to the development of semiotics, the study of signs and symbols as part of communicative behavior, continues to be a vital aspect of discourse analysis. The semiotic perspective, which views language as a system of signs, is foundational in analyzing not only verbal language but also non-verbal communication and multimedia texts in contemporary society. 2. Applications in diverse fields. Media studies. Structuralism's emphasis on the structures of narrative and genre has profoundly influenced media studies, where its principles are applied to analyze narratives, genres, and representation practices in film, television, and digital media. By examining the structural aspects of media texts, scholars can uncover the ideological underpinnings and cultural codes that inform media production and consumption. Cultural studies. The structuralist analysis of culture, particularly through the lens of myth and narrative, has been instrumental in cultural studies. It aids in understanding how cultural meanings are produced, circulated, and received within societies, offering insights into the cultural processes that shape social identities and power relations. Social sciences. In sociology and anthropology, structuralist ideas continue to inform analyses of social structures, institutions, and practices. The structuralist perspective helps in elucidating the complex ways in which cultural and social phenomena are organized, perpetuated, and transformed within specific historical and socio-political contexts. 3. Contemporary relevance. The contemporary relevance of structuralism lies not only in its specific analytical tools and methodologies but also in its broader conceptual influence on the understanding of language and culture as structured systems. While post-structuralism and subsequent theoretical developments have challenged and expanded upon structuralism's premises, they often do so by engaging with the questions and insights that structuralism first raised. This engagement underscores the foundational role of structuralism in shaping the critical inquiry into language, culture, and society. In essence, structuralism's legacy is its enduring capacity to inspire scholars to probe the underlying structures that govern human thought, communication, and social organization. Its influence persists in the continuous refinement and adaptation of its core principles to meet the challenges of analyzing complex, evolving discourses in an increasingly interconnected and digital world. Structuralism, therefore, remains a cornerstone in the intellectual edifice of contemporary discourse analysis, its legacy continuously reshaped by new generations of scholars and practitioners. 2. Case studies. The enduring influence of structuralist principles on contemporary discourse analysis is evidenced through a variety of case studies across different fields and media. These studies leverage structuralist concepts to uncover underlying patterns, binary oppositions, and the construction of meaning within discourses, illustrating the framework's adaptability and relevance in analyzing modern societal issues and media phenomena. Case Study 1. Media representation of gender roles. Objective: to analyze how gender roles are constructed and perpetuated in television commercials. Structuralist principles applied. Utilizing the concept of binary oppositions to examine the representation of masculinity and femininity, identifying recurrent patterns and motifs that signified gendered characteristics. Findings: the study reveals that commercials often rely on traditional binary oppositions of gender, male, female, strong, weak, rational, emotional, to construct narratives, reinforcing stereotypical gender roles and identities. Case Study 2. Political discourse and ideology. Objective: to investigate how political ideologies are articulated and contested in public speeches by different political leaders. Structuralist principles applied. Employing the analysis of linguistic structures and narrative forms to uncover the underlying structures of political discourse, focusing on the use of specific rhetorical devices and narrative strategies. Findings: this case study uncovers how political ideologies are embedded within the structural features of discourse, such as the use of metaphors, binary oppositions, us, them, freedom, oppression, and narrative constructions, to mobilize support and construct political identities. Case Study 3. Social media and identity construction. Objective: to explore how individuals construct personal and group identities on social media platforms through language use. Structuralist principles applied. Analyzing the semiotic resources, text, emojis, hashtags, used in social media posts to identify patterns and structures that contribute to the construction of online identities. Findings: the analysis demonstrates how social media users employ a variety of linguistic and semiotic strategies within the constraints and affordances of the platform to negotiate identity, belonging, and social relations, revealing the underlying codes and conventions of digital communication. Case Study 4. Environmental discourse and public policy. Objective: to examine the framing of environmental issues and policies in governmental reports and public media. Structuralist principles applied. Applying structural analysis to the discourse on climate change and environmental policy, focusing on the narrative structures and lexical choices that frame the issue in specific ways. Findings: this study highlights how environmental discourses are structured around key oppositions: nature, culture, sustainable, unsustainable, and thematic structures that influence public understanding and policy responses to environmental challenges.
Case Study 5. Cultural Narratives in Literature.
Objective: to analyze the representation of cultural identities in conflicts in contemporary novels.
Structuralist principles applied. Investigating the deep narrative structures and themes within literary texts to understand how cultural narratives and identities are constructed and negotiated.
Findings: the analysis reveals that novels often incorporate and challenge structural patterns of narrative and character construction to explore complex cultural identities and social issues, illustrating the dynamic interplay between cultural narratives and individual agency. These case studies showcase the application of structuralist principles in contemporary discourse analysis, demonstrating the framework's utility in uncovering the structures that underlie diverse forms of communication and cultural expression. Through these examples, it's evident that structuralism continues to offer valuable insights into the organization and meaning of discourses in various contexts, highlighting its ongoing relevance in the study of language, culture, and society. Conclusion: the profound influence of structuralism within the domain of discourse analysis underscores a vibrant legacy that continues to shape contemporary investigations and theoretical explorations. This enduring relevance is encapsulated through a rich tapestry of modern case studies across varied fields and media, each embodying structuralist principles to dissect and understand the complex layers of discourse. From the nuanced portrayal of gender roles in media to the intricate framing of political ideologies, structuralism provides a robust framework for unraveling the underlying patterns and oppositions that construct meaning and identity. Structuralism's intellectual journey from a foundational theory to a critical tool for contemporary analysis illustrates its pivotal role in the evolution of discourse studies. Its methodological contributions, particularly in semiotic analysis and the identification of deep structural patterns, remain indispensable for scholars seeking to decode the multifaceted nature of discourse. These analytical tools not only facilitate a deeper understanding of language and culture as structured systems but also inspire ongoing dialogue and innovation within the field. Moreover, structuralism's application across diverse disciplines, from media studies to sociology, highlights its versatility and capacity to offer insights into the ideological underpinnings and cultural codes that inform discourse production and consumption. Whether analyzing the structural dynamics of social media interactions or the environmental discourse shaping public policy, structuralism's principles guide researchers in uncovering the mechanisms through which discourses convey meanings, construct realities, and negotiate power. In essence, structuralism's legacy is not static but dynamically intertwined with the continuous development of discourse analysis. Its foundational concepts, while subject to critique and expansion, have engendered a rich spectrum of theoretical and methodological advancements that continue to influence the field. By grounding contemporary analysis in the structured nature of language and culture, structuralism fosters a critical engagement with discourses, encouraging scholars to probe beneath the surface and explore the intricate relationships that govern human thought, communication, and social organization. As discourse analysis ventures into new territories and embraces digital frontiers, the structuralist legacy ensures a continued exploration of the deep structures that shape our understanding of the world, reinforcing its significance in the intellectual pursuit of unraveling the complexities of human discourse. Frequently asked questions. What is structuralism's legacy in modern discourse analysis? Structuralism's legacy in modern discourse analysis lies in its rigorous analytical frameworks and methodological contributions that continue to influence how scholars examine language, culture, and society. Its concepts, especially binary oppositions and semiotic analysis, remain central to understanding how meaning is constructed and negotiated within discourses. How does structuralism influence contemporary media studies? In media studies, structuralism's focus on narrative structures and genres helps scholars analyze how narratives and representation practices in film, television, and digital media convey ideological messages and cultural codes, providing insights into media production and consumption. Can structuralism's principles be applied to social media analysis?
Yes, structuralism's principles can be applied to social media analysis.
By utilizing concepts like binary oppositions and semiotic resources, e.g., text, emojis, hashtags, researchers can explore how personal and group identities are constructed and negotiated on social media platforms. How are environmental discourses analyzed through structuralism? Structuralism aids in analyzing environmental discourses by applying structural analysis to narrative structures and lexical choices in governmental reports and media, helping to uncover how environmental issues and policies are framed and the key oppositions that shape public understanding. Does structuralism consider the role of individual agency in discourse? While structuralism primarily focuses on underlying structures, critiques of its emphasis on structure over agency have led to the development of new approaches that seek to balance these perspectives, acknowledging the role of individual creativity and the capacity to effect change within discursive practices.
Are there modern case studies that utilize structuralist principles?
Yes, there are numerous modern case studies across various fields that utilize structuralist principles to uncover the patterns, binary oppositions, and structures within discourses. These include analyses of gender roles in media, political discourse and ideology, identity construction on social media, environmental policy discourse, and cultural narratives in literature. What is the contemporary relevance of structuralism in discourse analysis? Structuralism remains highly relevant in contemporary discourse analysis for its foundational insights into the structured nature of language and culture. Despite critiques, its principles continue to inform and enrich analyses, particularly when integrated with newer theoretical developments that emphasize power, context, and agency. How has structuralism's approach to power and ideology evolved? Critiques of structuralism's limitations in fully addressing power dynamics and ideological influences have led to the emergence of post-structuralism and critical discourse analysis. These approaches build upon and refine structuralist insights to offer more nuanced analyses of how power and ideology are enacted and contested within discourses.